All right, everybody. Welcome to the Green Book Philosophy Group. It is a fantastic Tuesday night, and we're on the Chiropractor, the very bottom of page 3, and we're going to page 4, and however far we get tonight. And I just want to take a moment. We did great with the grounding last time, and let's just take a moment and be at peace. And just let's take a deep breath. I want you to take the moment and just see yourself as a beautiful tree where your roots are deep in the soil, bringing all the negativity of the outside world into your tips of your toes and out into Mother Earth. And you're breathing with the pulse of Mother Earth. You're bringing in the beautiful life of Mama Earth and letting out all the negativity of the world for her to cleanse. In and out. In and out. Now, all that energy, all that beautiful life around you is also inside of you. We are connected to Mother Earth. We're grounded in our understanding of ourself, chiropractic, spirituality. We're gaining this wisdom together. All right, let's rock and roll, everybody. You ready to get down and listen to some Dee Dee Palmer, okay?
Which has obstructed our vision of the great beyond. In time, spiritual existence will be as well known and comprehended as that of the physical world. Chiropractic science includes biology, the science of life, in this world, and the recognition of a spiritual existence in the next. The principles which compose it are substantive in their independence and incentive to human and spiritual progress. They originate in divinity, the universal intelligence, and constitute the essential qualities of life, which, having begun in this world, are never ending. It is an educational, scientific, religious system. It associates its practice, belief, and knowledge with that of religion. It imparts instruction relating both to this world and the one to come. Supreme spiritual existence can only be obtained through earthly experience. Chiropractic sheds enlightenment upon physical life and spiritual existence, the latter being only a continuation of the former.
Okay, let's pause there. Would you like to read that in Spanish?
Yes. Okay. Con el tiempo, la existencia espiritual será tan conocida y comprendida como aquella del mundo físico. La ciencia quiropráctica incluye la biología, la ciencia de la vida en este mundo y el reconocimiento de una existencia espiritual en el próximo. Los principios que lo componen son sustantivos en su independencia e incentivos para el progreso humano y espiritual. Se originan en la divinidad, la inteligencia universal y constituyen las cualidades esenciales de la vida que, habiendo comenzado en este mundo, no tiene fin. Es un sistema educativo, científico, religioso. Asocia su práctica, creencia y conocimiento con el de la religión. Imparte instrucción relacionada tanto a este mundo como al que está por venir. La existencia espiritual suprema solo puede ser obtenida a través de la experiencia terrenal. La quiropráctica vierte iluminación sobre la vida física y la existencia espiritual, siendo esta última solo una continuación de la primera.
Okay. Does anybody have any input? Anybody like to say anything? Steve, go ahead. You got to unmute.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It says here, it says that I'm trying to read it. It associates its practice. Yeah, third sentence, supreme spiritual existence can only be attained through earthly experience. I think what that means now, I didn't understand it, it was a question. I think what that means is now is all we can know. That's what it means. So I answered my own question. Okay.
Bueno, Steven quería comentar, dice al principio que tenía una pregunta y vuelve a leer un poco el párrafo que leímos y dice en la tercera oración, dice como la existencia espiritual suprema solamente se puede obtener a través de la experiencia terrenal. Lo piensa un poco y dice, bueno, creo que respondí mi propia pregunta, creo que lo que significa es que en el ahora es todo lo que podemos entender.
I love it because a lot of spiritual folks talk about the world beyond, people who have died and come back to explain it. But for me, my job description is to figure out right now in this earthly experience what's going on.
So I have a little input. You want to go ahead, Veronica?
Ok, dice, me encanta esto que estamos leyendo porque dice, hay muchas personas espirituales hablando del mundo más allá. Dice, hay gente que ha estado allá y ha regresado y lo explica. Dice, pero para mí mi trabajo es como figurar, como darme cuenta de qué está pasando, o sea, de qué es todo eso, pero en este momento.
So when we talk about spiritual existence, the earthly, it can only be known by earthly existence. Think, where is the kingdom of heaven? Is within. But within what? Is it just within this earthly body? Or in this spirit or soul or innate intelligence? I don't know if those are all the same thing. Now, don't get me wrong. Is that where our spiritual existence is? And the experience of this life body is so important. And if we think of a child, if a child's never been able to experience anything, they're basically just, as an adult, empty. So it's the wisdom we gain in this experience of life that brings this system into spiritual consciousness. And I think I don't even know if it's the road blocks, but the subluxations that are given from the universal intelligence, God, through this body to adjust through those vertebrae to fine tune this life experience. We're fine tuning. That's a little bit what I have about it.
I just got a little lost when you were comparing what you said about you don't know if all those words mean the same. You were talking about spiritual and what else?
Innate and soul. The spirit, innate, and the soul. I don't think they're the same thing, but they're easier to use as a group when we're talking about it.
Okay, let me try to translate that. Dice, cuando hablamos de la existencia espiritual, lo de la tierra solamente se puede saber o conocer con la existencia terrenal. Pero ¿dónde está el reino de los cielos? ¿Está dentro de nosotros, dentro de nuestro cuerpo? ¿O en lo innato, en el alma, en lo espiritual? Dice, no creo que esas últimas palabras sean todo lo mismo, pero sí se pueden usar como en un grupo cuando hablamos de ellas. Dice, si pensamos de un niño que no ha tenido todavía el tiempo para experimentar todas estas cosas, está vacío. Dice, es la sabiduría que ganamos en la vida que llena nuestra conciencia, pero el camino, dice, no sé si lo bloquean como rocas o qué es lo que lo bloquea. Dice, lo que nos ha mostrado por la inteligencia universal, Dios, es el ajustar, bueno, es que el ajustar es como encontrar el tono.
Anybody have anything else? Or would
Well,
like?
question.
Go ahead.
What does it mean that the spiritual existence is only a continuation of the physical life? That last sentence,
That's what it says.
what does that mean?
Pregunta Steven, ¿qué significa en esa oración donde dice que la existencia espiritual es solo la continuación de la vida física?
Read it in Spanish and read it in English slowly.
I'm going to read it out loud. I'm going to read this paragraph. It is an educational, scientific, religious system. It associates its practice, belief, and knowledge with that of religion. It imparts instruction relating both to this world and the one to come. Supreme spiritual existence can only be obtained through earthly experience. Chiropractic sheds enlightenment upon physical life and spiritual existence, the latter being only a continuation of the former. Do we have to experience this life to get to the afterlife? Is that what it basically is the question? That's a big statement. Go ahead, Bob. Take off your
Word only.
Hello. So everybody has the question at some time or another, why are we here? You know, what's the value of you living on this earth and having a life? And I think this is an attempt to answer what we're talking about tonight. And through chiropractic, what I get from it is that our experiences on a physical level, I'm speaking now, come in through the nerve system. Anything we experience comes in through the nerve system. What we feel, what we taste, what we smell, what we see, what we hear, everything comes in through the nerve system. And then it feeds our soul experience. And so there's where we want to be as unsubluxated as possible so that those messages come in as clear and as concise as possible and feed our soul the most accurate experience possible.
I love that.
But I've seen people in wheelchairs distorted.
Oh, let her translate it. Let her translate it.
You want to traduce? Go for it.
Ok, bueno, vamos a regresarnos un poquito porque volvimos a leer un párrafo. ¿Lo lees?
Un pedacito de un párrafo se repetía para analizarlo. Dice, es un sistema educativo, científico, religioso. Asocia su práctica, creencia y conocimiento con el de la religión. Imparte instrucción relacionada tanto a este mundo como al que está por venir. La existencia espiritual suprema solo puede ser obtenida a través de la experiencia terrenal. La quiropráctica vierte iluminación sobre la vida física y la existencia espiritual, siendo esta última solo una continuación de la primera.
Ok, gracias. Yo voy a traducir lo que dije.
Bueno.
So, todas la pregunta, ¿por qué estamos en esta tierra? Es común. Todo el mundo piensa en esta cosa de vez en cuando, ¿no? Y estamos pensando, ok, tal vez para recibir experiencia. ¿Y cómo recibimos experiencia? Todo a través de los nervios. No puede oír sin nervios, no puede ver sin nervios, no puede tocar sin nervios, no puede gastar sin nervios. Todas cosas entre nuestro cuerpo y alimenta nuestra alma con experiencia a través de los nervios. Y por eso es bueno recibir esta información de este mundo y de esta tierra sin subluxación. Por eso tenemos la experiencia lo más puro posible.
Anybody have any comment about that? There's a lot of content there, a lot of very interesting, powerful things about chiropractic and our philosophy. Does anybody have any input? Stephen, you were going to say something?
No, I'm just reading ahead, and it's got me sucked in.
It's going unmuted.
Well, it's saying, simplifying what it's saying is just that chiropractic make us ready to experience all that, right? To be able to have the best of what we experience, so that we can move on to the next part of what is, well, not this life, but the next life.
Yeah.
Digo que, bueno, solamente resumiendo, simplificando más o menos lo que estamos diciendo, que la quiropráctica lo que hace es que nos pone o nos alista para poder recibir, como decía Robert, todas esas experiencias para continuar con la vida, tal vez no esta vida, sino la siguiente.
Now, let's take this just a little bit in a different light. We're thinking of living and dying and the kingdom of heaven. If we think of now, the kingdom of heaven is within, and understanding of physical life and spiritual existence can happen at the same time. These aren't living and then dying and going on. If we just think about it slightly differently, they're all right. Everything is correct. But if we just think about it, remember we talked about the subluxation not being less than the light expression, but if we use sub meaning under the expression of the light of God, then we're in this spiritual existence and we're aligned with our educated and our innate, which innate is our spiritual existence that's going on all the time, making new cells, digesting our food. So when we become conscious of our innate or our spiritual existence, a latter being only a continuation of the former, the material is a continuation, or the spiritual is the continuation of the material. Because without the material, this spirit right here would not exist. In earthly form.
Right.
To get a better light, still doesn't work.
Was that too much? Did I go on too long, Veronica?
Just the part I got a little lost when you said about the subluxation, what you said that it was not something, but the other thing under.
What people commonly like to use is sub means less than, lux is light, ation is the expression of. So they say less light expression.
Oh, less light.
But when you change the word sub in English, means also under. And under the expression of the light, under the light of God. And we're spiritual beings in a material body. Okay?
Got it. Thank you. Bueno, dice Haig que vamos a cambiar un poquito el enfoque que estamos viendo y vamos a verlo como que estamos pensando en vivir y morir en el reino de los cielos, pero si nos ponemos a pensar que el reino de los cielos está adentro de nosotros y entendemos que la vida física y la espiritual pasan al mismo tiempo, bueno, si nos ponemos a pensar en eso, podemos también tomar en cuenta o pensar en que bueno, al mismo tiempo podemos hablar de lo de la subluxación, ¿no? Dice él que es más o menos como partiendo la palabra en inglés de subluxación, dice sub significa menos, eh, lux de luz y lo demás que es la expresión, entonces dice es como menos expresión de luz, pero si cambiamos la parte del significado de sub en vez de menos decir bajo, porque eso también puede tener ese significado, podemos verlo como que bajo la luz, ¿no? Como bajo la luz de Dios. Dice, somos seres espirituales, estamos alineados con nuestro educado y lo innato. Y el innato está trabajando todo el tiempo, ¿no? Como dice él, siempre haciendo nuestras células, eligiendo la comida y demás. Entonces, cuando hablamos de todo esto es como lo espiritual es la continuación de lo material, porque si no hubiera lo material, no, el espíritu no existiría. Steven.
Okay, I had to mute everybody again. Stephen, just block in. There you go.
Okay. I'm getting really high pondering this stuff because I'm not interested as a chiropractor, as a human being, as my purpose in life, in spirituality divorced from right now in this body. I'm not interested in heaven. I'm interested in the expression of heaven through earth, which is all I know right now. The heaven on earth, heaven through earth. This is at some point unable to be limited by our intellect. The infinite power of God is connecting to this being with this body. I am the meeting place of the infinite with the finite. The subluxation, the adjustment is to bring heaven through earth expressed. Wonderment, mystical, not understandable, just like that. I'm done.
Ok, dice, no estoy interesado en el cielo, sino en la expresión del cielo en este momento de lo terrenal. Dice, el cielo en la tierra es en lo que estoy interesado. En cierto punto está limitado por nuestro intelecto. El poder infinito de Dios está conectado con este ser en este cuerpo. Dice, yo soy el punto de encuentro de lo infinito con lo finito. La subluxación y el ajuste es traer al cielo a la tierra, que se exprese. Es maravilloso, místico y no entendible, tal cual.
It's time to get back to the garden.
In the Lord's Prayer, you know, we're talking about the kingdom of heaven in earth as it is in heaven. And when we are looking for heaven to try and get there, we forget about being present in present time consciousness and realize we are in heaven now. It's the outside world that tries to tell us that we're not. And it's hard to block it out. And I see chiropractic, and I was talking about this today. When I'm subluxated, I am grouchy. And I get angry very quickly because my system is scrambled. And that really is a fog over that kingdom of heaven that is within. And what it does is allow more of the outside world in. But when I'm clear, it's able to pass through me, and my spiritual existence, my innate intelligence, my spirit is able to express more through my material body. That's what I have.
Ok. Haig dijo, bueno, hay como una oración de Dios que cuando hablamos que buscamos el cielo, o de buscar el cielo, el reino de los cielos en la tierra, como lo es en el cielo. Entonces dice, hablamos cuando buscamos el cielo, olvidamos estar presentes o en el presente, ¿no? Conscientemente. Y pensamos como que no estamos en el cielo ahora. Es cuando todo nuestro entorno o lo de afuera nos convence de lo contrario, de que no es en este momento eso, ¿no? Dice, cuando estoy subluxado me enojo muy rápido, porque mi sistema está como revuelto, y eso solamente nubla la idea de que el reino está adentro. Lo que hace es que entre más todo este exterior o todo este entorno o las ideas del entorno hacia adentro. After what you say that when you're subluxated, you let in more what is like the outside. What did you say at the very end? I'm sorry.
When I'm clear, I let the outside world pass through me, and then the spiritual existence is clear to function with this material body. I think I said something like that.
Ok, dice que entonces cuando no está subluxado, deja que más bien como que todo ese entorno, todo lo que le está entrando desde afuera, lo deja como que solamente pase a través de él. Dice, y de esa manera deja que como su inteligencia innata, el espíritu, se exprese más a través de su cuerpo material.
So, what does everybody think about? It's an educational, scientific, religious system.
Mhm.
What do you think about all the religious stuff that Dee is talking about?
Mhm.
How do you feel about that?
Mhm. If it's not reconnecting, which is what religios means, what are we doing? Treating backaches? We're put on this earth as emissaries, angels, to facilitate the connection to the kingdom of heaven. If we're doing anything else, we're missing out. Then we're therapeutic.
I'd like to add just a little part of that. It's a lot less fun.
Damn right.
Dice,
You're finishing your next, Bob.
bueno, dice Steven, si lo que...
Pregúntame, ¿no?
¿Perdón?
¿Qué
Sí.
opinan de?
Sí, perdón. Primero pregunta el doctor Haig qué opinan o qué piensan de lo que es un sistema educativo, científico, religioso, de lo que estaba hablando Didi. Y dice Steven, si no es reconectar, entonces, ¿qué es lo que estamos haciendo? ¿Tratando dolores de espalda? Dice, somos puestos en la tierra como embajadores o ángeles para facilitar la conexión del reino de los cielos. Y si hacemos otra cosa es solamente como terapia.
Anybody else? Bob, you're next. Go ahead.
What you said, Steve, reminded me of something. I'll just say it quickly. When September 11th happened, a bunch of us, hundreds of us, went down to Ground Zero. And we showed up there one evening after working in our offices, and the firefighters that ran into us on the stairway on the way up to where we were going, they said, "Oh, you're the chiropractors?" And we said, "Yeah, we're chiropractors." They said, "Oh, you guys are angels." And if you think about it, we were in a very spiritual place because a lot of souls transitioned in that area recently when we were there. So that's kind of cool that they said that to us.
Yeah.
So, después del 11 de septiembre, 1000 quiroprácticos estaban yendo para Ground Zero para atender los bomberos, policía, etc. Y una noche después de trabajar, un amigo mío y yo fuimos para Ground Zero y algunos bomberos nos dijeron, hey, ¿son los quiroprácticos? Y respondió que sí. Ellos dijeron, oh, son ángeles ustedes. Y estoy pensando, porque mira, muchas almas hizo su transición en este lugar un poco antes, y por eso fue un lugar muy espiritual en aquellos momentos.
So, you know, another thing it made me think of is Jacob's ladder that Pasquale used to talk about.
Yeah.
And the chiropractor was an angel helping a man transition to heaven.
George Shears was a chiropractor in the 40s. He was a baseball player also. And he is in the bigness of the fellow within. And it turns out that there's a quote in there that was on my birthday. That was when he said it. And he said that chiropractic is neither, it's both religious, spiritual, and material. It's both. It's the expression of the non-material through the material. So chiropractors are one foot in heaven and one foot in earth at the same time. Mind in heaven, feet in the, it is what we're about. And that's what makes it fun.
I'm sorry, Steven. What's the name of the person that just said that?
George Shears.
George Shears. And he
You
was.
want me to get the quote?
Well, if you liked.
Is that he also had the Shears clinic? Was that the one with the hospital clinic?
No, that's Spears.
That's correct. Spears, correct. Okay.
And he was a baseball player?
He was a chiropractor.
A chiropractor. I understood baseball player.
Prior to that, he was a baseball player.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Did you get it? Or
okay, let me translate what he just said.
okay.
Hold on. He set up the GPC system, which is God Patient Chiropractor. He's the one that set it up with the box on the wall. The GPC system, have you heard of that?
We used to do GPC at Christmas, and we used to say God Practicing Chiropractic.
No, it's God Patient, or that's what it means.
Oh, we call it God Practicing Chiropractic.
No,
I got that from Sigafus.
no, it's God Patient Chiropractor.
Okay, translate what you have now, and then we'll do the quote.
Got it.
Okay,
I
got
have
it now. All right.
You want me to read it or not?
Do I go first, second?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ok. Bueno, cuenta el doctor Steven que George Shears anteriormente era un jugador de béisbol y luego ya fue un quiropráctico. Y hay una frase que él dijo que enseguida nos va a leer, que, bueno, la quiropráctica era ambas, era tanto lo espiritual como lo material. Dice, es la expresión de lo material de lo no material, perdón, a través de lo material. Dice, los quiroprácticos están en la tierra. Es de lo que somos y es lo que lo hace divertido. Luego menciona que George Shears también fue el que hizo el sistema GPC, que bueno, en inglés son las siglas para decir Dios, paciente y quiropráctico. Y comenta el doctor Haig que él creía que, bueno, él lo sacó de Sigafus de otra manera, que él pensó que era Dios practicando quiropráctica. Pero bueno, el doctor Steven le comenta la otra versión.
If I can
Do you all have the bigness of the fellow within?
Yes.
It's
We
page
have it.
66.
I don't think we can get it in Spanish.
Well, we'll just get it translated.
We can do it. It takes a little work.
You want me to read a little bit?
Yeah.
Since the birth of the GPC principle, we have been accused of trying to make a religion out of chiropractic. You want to translate that?
Dice, va a leer un pedacito del libro que nos mostró y dice, el nacimiento del sistema GPC hemos sido acusados de hacer de la quiropráctica una religión.
Our critics claim that chiropractic is a science and should be kept strictly in that field.
Nuestros críticos dicen que la quiropráctica es una ciencia y debería quedarse ahí estrictamente, o en ese campo estrictamente.
It has long been my personal belief that it is neither one, but actually is the long sought missing link between the two, yet is distinct and separate from both and necessary to both.
Could you repeat that in the small parts, please?
It has been my personal belief that it is neither one, but is actually the missing link between the two. You're muted.
Perdón, estaba hablando con mute. Ha sido mi creencia personal que no es ninguno de los, bueno, no es ninguno de los dos, sino es el eslabón perdido o la conexión perdida entre ambos. Okay.
And the truth of the matter is that neither one is complete without the other.
Y que la verdad es que ninguno de ellos está completo sin el otro.
A human being is not all physical, neither is he all spiritual. He is a proper blending of one in and through the other.
El ser humano no es ni físico ni espiritual, es como una mezcla de uno y el otro.
And it goes on. So,
You know, what would chiropractic be like if we followed this of DD for this whole period? Think about that for 120 plus years. Would it be different?
It's like that in my office.
If it was that's what people knew chiropractic was. Right now, they have their own ideas that they've learned from other people of what chiropractic is. And we've all been in practice where they said, oh, I know what chiropractic is. You don't have to tell me, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, getting back to this philosophy, I feel is what is the if we made this the standard, if we thought of every person as God in front of us before we adjusted them, and as we adjusted them, would the world change? Would we see a different chiropractic than we see now of basically physiotherapy? I feel we would.
Dice, bueno, dice el doctor Haig que cómo sería la quiropráctica si siguiéramos todo esto que dice Didi en todo este periodo, en todos los años anteriores. Bueno, contesta el doctor Steven que así es en mi oficina, dice. Y continúa el doctor Haig diciendo, si la gente supiera que eso es la quiropráctica en este momento, dice, bueno, tienen otras ideas de lo que es la quiropráctica. Dice, todos hemos escuchado como dicen, sí, ya sé que es la quiropráctica, como que ya no quieren escuchar más. Dice, pero hay que volver a esta filosofía. Si hiciéramos esto, el estándar, y pensáramos en cada persona como si fueran Dios antes de ajustarla, el mundo cambiaría.
So for students, we have the practice that we want. A lot of people they do what they have been taught to do, which is different things than adjusting very often. And they're taught the philosophy to bring into the office. The work that we're doing right now, many of us have worked very, very hard to get to this point. Stephen's been practicing how much? Nearly 50 years, 40 plus years?
43.
43 years. Same with Robert Crystal over there. And it takes work and understanding ourselves. And if we get off track, having our groups and people to help us get back on track. Because there's never been a problem that we haven't gone through at some point ourselves, emotionally, physically, or what have you. So I just like to say that to students especially, is that not all these things come very quickly too. Getting a deep understanding of it, rereading it, looking at it again, and practice and talking about it amongst yourselves and your friends too, to help you grow in this understanding of the philosophy, because it does take time and work. Forgive me, I went long on this one, Veronica.
Okay, let me try that. Empieza a decir el doctor Hay que quiere dar como un consejo, especialmente para los estudiantes. Dice, como que puede que tengamos la práctica. Dice, el trabajo que hacemos ahora, hemos trabajado mucho para lograrlo. Dice, por ejemplo, Steven lleva 43 años. Dice, también llevan varios años Carol y Robert. Y dice, toma mucho trabajo y entendernos a nosotros mismos. Dice, también toma que estamos en esto como hablando con diferentes personas para mantenernos en el camino correcto. Así que dice, le gustaría decir especialmente a los estudiantes que no todas las cosas vienen fácil o rápido. El tener un mejor entendimiento para ayudarte a crecer, bueno, todo eso hay que estar trabajando, practicando, compartiendo y, digamos, dice, hablando entre nosotros.
And I want to add one more part, is that the hard work comes from letting go of the things that we think we know, or that we've been taught by other people, or a definition of ourself that really isn't serving us. The hard work comes in how we lift ourselves up, how we change ourselves to be a server in chiropractic or in anything, whether you're caring for an elderly parent. Some of the stuff the hard part is letting it go. And the easy part is, the fun part is adjusting the people. That's exciting. And I want to reiterate, because we talk about in very existential ways very often, but it takes time and repetition and work to really get an understanding of who we are and what we are. And that's what makes it a lot of fun. But it sometimes is a challenge. We have our own roadblocks in our way, and they're not easy to step over. Go ahead, Stephen.
What's harder work? Holding on or letting go?
Holding on. For me,
That's the hard work.
Bueno, dice el doctor Haig, dice, quiero agregar algo más. El trabajo duro viene de dejar ir las cosas que otras personas nos han enseñado. Lo difícil viene de saber cómo levantarnos, cómo cambiamos para ser como servidores en quiropráctica. O dicen cualquier cosa, como por ejemplo cuidar de una persona mayor. Dice, la parte fácil y divertida es el ajustar. Comenta también que dice, hablamos mucho de cosas existenciales para entender quiénes somos y qué somos, pero pueden haber desafíos que no van a ser fáciles de sobrepasar. Eso es como o personal para cada quien. Y luego comenta el doctor Steven, ¿qué es más difícil? Como el retener las cosas o el dejarlas ir. And what was the answer? I'm sorry, letting go or keeping?
think about it.
What's harder work?
Or be free.
Holding on and fighting upstream or letting row your boat gently down the stream? Which is harder work?
Like keeping, while holding on?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ok, entonces dice, ¿qué es más difícil? ¿Como atenernos fuertemente a algo o solamente dejarlo ir? Y bueno, dicen pues mantenerlo.
I don't think of Jesus as a hard worker. I don't think of Buddha as a hard worker. I don't think of chiropractors that I have emulated as hard workers. They seem to have a grace and an ease about them.
Dice, no pienso de Jesús o de Buda como alguien, como un trabajador que trabaje muy duro, ¿no? Más bien es como que tienen una facilidad para lo que hacen.
Was Cirasoli a hard worker?
You know, he saw 1,300 people a week and he served 7 days a week. And probably not one day was work.
There you go.
Right.
Le pregunta el doctor Steven al doctor Haig, ¿acaso era Sarasoli como alguien que trabajaba muy duro? Dice el doctor Haig, pues veía 1,300 personas por semana y trabajaba 7 días a la semana, pero no creo que ni uno de esos días haya sido trabajo.
Trying to please others is hard work.
Yeah.
Trying to be compliant with insurance companies is hard work. Trying to please the patients is hard work.
Gracias.
Dice, tratar de complacer a las personas es trabajo duro. I'm sorry, what to say about the insurance companies?
Trying to be compliant.
To do what they want.
Como complacer también, dice, a las compañías aseguradoras, eso es trabajo difícil también. Y complacer a los pacientes también.
There's a time when we have to start asking ourselves, is it worth it? And as we gain wisdom in life, it doesn't always come with time, but we realize the more we are in love in here, then the rest of the world, we see it in love. And that's the point of service. That's the time when we are at our greatest level of serving. That's where Jesus served us, God serves us, and we serve right back that way.
Dice, va a haber un momento que sí vale la...
En donde nos preguntan. Va a haber un momento en donde nos preguntemos que si vale la pena lo que hacemos.
Dice, hay un punto en el tiempo que va a salir como de nosotros, ¿no? Que sale con mucho amor y vamos a ver como todo. Um, I'm sorry, you said about uh, there will come a time, a point in time when like it will be from love.
Yeah.
What else?
When we're serving from love, and it's, seeking out wisdom and realizing that when we are at ease, when we are in love with ourselves in here, that means we don't have to please insurance companies. We don't have to please patients. They will want what we have. And if they don't, they're welcome to go someplace else. So it comes from knowing who we are, loving ourselves. Does that make more sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dice,
Go ahead.
Okay. Cuando buscamos la sabiduría y estamos en calma, es ahí, ¿no? Donde, bueno, estamos en búsqueda de sabiduría, viene cuando estamos en calma, estamos como en amor con nosotros mismos o tenemos amor a nosotros mismos. Ahí es cuando significa que no tenemos que complacer a nadie. Los pacientes mismos van a querer lo que tenemos. Si no lo quieren, bueno, van a buscar en otra parte. Pero viene de saber quiénes somos y querernos a nosotros mismos.
Okay, we are wrapping it up. And Steve, you want to say something quickly?
Well, I had a patient today. He was part of my reading group, and he called yesterday with a back pain, and he wanted me to help him with the back pain. And we were able to tell him, I was able to tell him that there's a gift to find in the back pain, in the darkness. And I said, I don't do that. Do you still want to be adjusted? And I also said, I cut the price in half for him because I know he was, so I said, do you still want to be adjusted for $20? He went, yeah. And I gave him an adjustment for the purpose of removing interference to innate. And it was the best adjustment, and he got the big idea. And I assume he feels better, but that wasn't the purpose. He got it, and it was joyful.
Ok, dice rápidamente que tuvo un paciente hoy que es parte de su grupo de lectura. Dice que le habló el día de ayer y vino por dolor de espalda. Y él le dice, hay un regalo ahí, ¿no? Escondido o que puedes encontrar en ese dolor. Dice, aún así quiere ser ajustado. Dice que, bueno, lo ajustó por mitad de precio porque tiene ahí unas razones. Y que le dijo, claro que sí. Y entonces quitó la interferencia del innato y es como el paciente pudo entender o entendió la gran idea, ¿no? Dice, asumo que se siente mejor, pero el punto no era ese, es que tuvo ese entendimiento.
Okay, everyone. This is an amazing meeting. There is a lot of meat. We made it a paragraph and a half. We are on 11 minutes and 2 seconds. We've got 1 minute of reading out of there, which is awesome to me, because breaking down this philosophy is a necessity. We have to do it, and we're doing it. I have never heard breakdowns of D.D. Palmer's book. I barely hear anybody discuss it. So this is making history right now. I'm writing in a crayon because my kids took all of my pens here. In color is armamento. Armamento? I don't know what color that is. It says tumbleweed in English. So I'm writing down 11 minutes and, what did I say? 2 seconds is where we start next time. And I want to invite everybody. I just loaded up, I think, about 60 plus audio of meditations that are about 15 to 20 minutes long on Spotify. And it's a Nate Express podcast and a Nate Adjusting podcast. Some of them are interviews, and then we have about 60 meditations. So go check them out if you wish to do so. And does anybody have anything else they want to add to the end here?
Where do I find it?
Spotify.
Now, Spotify's got a lot of people. Is it your name?
You could search my name, it would probably come up. I haven't got all those. I'm not exactly sure how to pull it up, except you do Innate Express podcast and Innate podcast.
Okay.
I had to hire somebody to help me do it all lately. It's like it's getting more complicated, but we got about 60 plus up there, and we add to that almost every day because really getting grounded is very important. I love you guys. I really do. I love being on this. I'm so excited about it. We've got people. Jamie's been showing up every week. Angeles, how do I say that? Did I say that properly? Angeles. And Veronica, and you guys, I mean, it's just been wonderful. And Robert and Carol, Stephen.
Even Robert, I love and appreciate.
Oh, yeah. Robert and Carol, too. Absolutely. So this was really great. We're going to do next week. Does this time still work for everybody? It's good? Is it good? Okay.
Muchas gracias.
De nada.
Sí,
And
gracias. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Gracias a todos.
Gracias.
Heaven on earth.
Nos vemos la próxima semana.
Bye.
Bye-bye.